Planners. They come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and patterns. And let's not even get into formats. Your planner can be a more traditional bound paper planner, or it can be a very brief calendar type planner, or you might even be using a digital planner. But whatever the type of planner you choose, I want to teach you some important skills when it comes to making your planning system work for you. Hi everyone, it's Jolene from sunshinediary.com. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I spend a lot of my time trying to find ways to inspire young women to become girl bosses and become more productive. So if that's the kind of journey that you are on, I want to let you know that I am here for it. I am here for you, and we can do this thing together. Now, I personally use a ring-bound paper planner exclusively for all of my planning needs, and I have an entire video on why I've made that choice, which is linked in the description box for you. But I need a system to plan my life that is robust and efficient. And that is because I wear many hats. I am an interpreter with the European Union. I am also a blogger and a YouTuber, as you can tell. I am also a university lecturer where I live here in Belgium. I am just about finished writing my debut novel as well, and very recently I have started running an Airbnb. So you can probably imagine that I have a lot on my plate, and I really need some help sorting it all out and making sure everything gets done, and that's where my planner comes in. But before I talk to you about how I plan and how I make sure that I make the best use of my time, I want to tell you why planning might be helpful for you and why it might make your life a little bit easier. Now, you might have heard the expression before, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. It sounds really tough, but I like to say that planning is the preparation aspect of things. If you plan, you are ensuring success for yourself. Planning is taking your dreams and your aspirations and marking out specific steps that will help you achieve your goal. So I really think that planning is essential if you're trying to get anything done, if you're trying to turn any dream into a reality. And you may need to plan for many different reasons. You may need help keeping on top of your chores. You may be in that phase in your life where you are making college applications and you are trying to do your research and make sure that you submit things within the deadline, and you're writing letters of motivation. That might be what you have to plan. Maybe you have a pet that you need to take care of, and you need to write down certain specific steps that need to be done on a daily or on a weekly basis. Maybe you need to plan for your studies, for submitting assignments on time. Maybe you have sports extracurricular activities. Maybe you have a health and fitness goal that you need to take steps to accomplish. This is where planning comes in for you. You will never accomplish those things if they remain just a dream. They need to become a plan. You need to have specific steps outlined and a plan for how you're going to get from point A to point B. So that's the first way in which planning can be super useful in your life. Secondly, of course, it can reduce your stress, because now that you know that you have a system in place to get all of your tasks done, you'll find that it's so much less scary, so much less daunting to actually take each individual step to get those things done. It can reduce your stress tremendously. It can also mean that you don't have to remember as many things. If you think of your brain as a computer, there are two possible ways that you can use that massive computer that you have here. You can either use it to store information, so that's memory that you're using, or you can use it to process information, right? It's the difference between ROM and RAM kind of thing. So what I always believe is that your brain is better used as a processor than it is used for storage. Using your brain for storage is sort of using a lot of space for no good reason, when you can store things in other ways. You can get a memory stick, an external hard drive, you can store things in the cloud, if we go on with the brain analogy. But you see where I'm going with this. Your planner can be where you do the storage so that your brain is freed up for processing, and that reduces the stress that you're under tremendously. So when you have a lot of things to do and you're worried, am I going to remember this? Am I going to do this in time? Instead of letting your brain do that work, let your planner do it, so that your brain really only has to achieve the tasks but doesn't have to remember them. Another element of planning that can make your life so much easier is that you get to avoid decision fatigue. What is decision fatigue? You might have heard of it before, but if you haven't, it's basically the amount of stress and exhaustion that you experience because you have to make decisions. And sometimes these decisions are really simple. Shall I do this before I do that? Do I study for this before I complete that assignment? Do I do this thing that's for my health before I do that thing that's for my studies, or before I do this other thing that's for work? It can be really hard to juggle these things, and making these decisions is actually something that takes time and that wears us down and tires us out. So in the end, we don't have the energy to accomplish all of the things that we want to do because some of our energy is used up making decisions. Planners remove decision fatigue from your life, because when you sit down to plan, you sit down and you make all of the decisions, and then for the next day, the next 2 days, the next week, however long you plan for, you have no more decisions to make. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and when, and that is a beautiful feeling. The fourth way that I think a planner can be amazing in your life is that it can kind of work like a journal. It's a little bit more of an efficient and functional version of a journal. A journal helps you keep track of what's going on. It's great for memory keeping, but a planner not only lets you know when certain things in your life may have happened, but it can remind you of all of the steps that you took to accomplish a certain goal. So I love the fact that I have a planner that tells me things like, what were the steps that I took to plan my wedding? Or what were the steps that I took to pass this exam? Or what were the steps that I took before I went to this interview that helped me to get the job? So it's not just about memory keeping, my planner, but it also reminds me exactly how to accomplish this if I ever need to do it again. So it's really great, and I feel like if you're at a time in your life when memory keeping, when you're making a lot of amazing memories, a planner can be a great companion for you. So that is why I would recommend that you get into planning. It will reduce your stress, it will make you more productive, it will turn your dreams into plans, which will help you turn your dreams into reality, and it can help you keep track of all of the things that you do, what you accomplished, and how you accomplished it. Now let's get into how to plan. What are the main steps that you need to take? I have a lot of videos on planning. You can have a look at them if you want to, but here I'm just going to cover for you the essentials of planning. And the very first how to plan tip that I have for you is that you need to make it a routine. You need to make it something that fits into your day or every week in a regular way that you don't have to think about, like getting up, having a shower, brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about these things. You do them so regularly that it's just a habit now, and planning needs to become like that. And why is that? Planning needs to become a habit because if you don't use your planning system, whatever planning system you choose, it won't work for you. That is the first and basic and most important tip to making sure that your planning system is actually effective. You need to use it. But if it's something that you do once in a while, when you remember, sometimes at the weekend, sometimes at night, sometimes when you say, oh gosh, I can't remember this thing, where did I write that down? If it's only something that you use occasionally, it won't work. So I would suggest that you find some time every day, whether it be at night, right before bed, you plan for the day ahead, or maybe it's once a week, let's say on Sunday evenings, you sit down and you plan the entire week. Make sure that it's something you do on a regular basis at a scheduled time so you don't have to remember it, it just becomes a habit. Now, my next tips have more to do with how you make your planner pretty, how you make it fun, how you make sure that the entire planning process is enjoyable and easy for you to do. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I am not only trying to be practical and productive, but I want things to be pretty and fun and enjoyable. But before I get into those tips, I just want to pause right here and ask you to please destroy that like button. It's absolutely free and it helps my channel tremendously. So go ahead, smash the like button. I'll wait.
I'll show you how to smash a like button. Ah!
Done? Awesome. Now for my next tip. Your planning process needs to be enjoyable for you, and there are lots of ways that you can accomplish that. It can be that you plan with beautiful, funky colored pens and whatnot, or you really decorate your planner. You use stickers and washi tape. That's something that I quite enjoy. and it's something that also doesn't need to be expensive. I have a video linked in the description box where I talk about how you can decorate your planner and make it fun and cute using items you probably already have at home. But another thing that you can do to make your planning process fun and enjoyable is to do it alongside something else that you enjoy. So maybe you turn on some great music that you enjoy, you get your favorite food, and you sit down with your planner. And every time you plan, you incorporate that into your routine. So it becomes an activity that you look forward to. I personally plan with my morning cup of coffee, and I hate getting out of bed in the morning. I am not a morning person, but I look forward to my cup of coffee. So because I've incorporated planning into my whole coffee phase in the morning, it means that I look forward to my planning as well. It makes it fun for me because I associate it with my morning cup of coffee. Of course, I also mentioned decorating your planner. I do sort of 2 planning sessions. I do one on a Saturday, and then I do one every morning as I get up so that I can see what I have to do in the day ahead. And in my Saturday planning session, I tend to really go to town with all of the decorations and everything, and it's so relaxing and enjoyable for me. So that's definitely something that I recommend. If you enjoy looking at your planner, then all of a sudden your plans and your projects, your tasks and your responsibilities don't stress you out anymore. You kind of enjoy them as well. My next tip when it comes to how to plan is that you should make sure that your planning system reflects your own personal needs and goals. Not everybody is the same. You might be in the same job as someone. You might be the same age as someone. You might both be women. You might be in the same class. You might be trying to get into the same university. You might have some of the same goals as someone else, but your daily plans can't be the same because you're not the same person. I, for instance, like to incorporate things into my planner that have to do with my hair care, for instance. My pre-poo days or my styling days go into my planner because these are actually things that take up a lot of time. But if you have a pixie cut, then you don't have a lot of hair care items to do. So that's not going to be in your planner. So make sure that your planning reflects you, reflects your personality and your own individual needs. This is not for anyone else. This is for you. So there you have it. I'm glad you've stuck around to the end. So now you understand the importance of planning and some basic tips about how to get into it. What your planner looks like doesn't matter as long as it works for you. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of it. And I would like to ask, if you're still here and if you've enjoyed this type of content, if you think it might be useful, please do consider subscribing. I work very hard to fill my channel with interesting and useful content, and it would mean so much to me if you were to subscribe. In any event, thank you so much for having watched this quick intro to planning, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.